How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, I thought we'd take a look at some of the top 5 features that we need for the Pokemon Switch version in 2018 or 2019. Now, before we just get started here, I want to point out a few things, and that is that if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were the final games for the Nintendo 3DS, which means that we are now moving to the next generation of consoles, aka the Switch, which means also that this next game, the next upcoming Pokemon game, is going to be the first main series Pokemon game on the home console of Nintendo. Like, it's never happened before if you think about it. I mean, we've had spin-off games, and we've had, like, you know, Pokemon Tournament and stuff like that, but this is going to be a main series game on the main series, like, you know, consoles from Nintendo. It's kind of insane. So either way, basically today what we're going to do is we're going to count down some of the top 5 features that we want to see for the Pokemon on the Switch version that we're going to be getting in either 2018 or 2019. So I hope you guys are excited and ready. Let's get started with number 5. Now, coming up first here is going to be number 5, and it's going to be the open world that we need. Now, quickly, just before we continue here, just keep in mind, these features that I'm talking about here, I'm not putting them in any specific order of which is better or which is worse. This is just kind of a random list, so please keep that in mind. And I do have a few honorable mentions for the number 1 spot, but it's really just some extras that I want to have here, but I didn't want to do a top 10 video because I didn't feel like there was going to be enough stuff to put in there, so I just did a top 5, so please keep that in mind. But anyway, so the first one I want to talk about here is open world. Now, this is something that I've been wanting for Pokemon for a long time. Pokemon is such a game that I think this would fit really well into. Just think about it. If you had the ability to kind of walk around and do whatever the hell you want, it would be really awesome. Now, this is something that I would really not expect them to do. This won't probably happen, as open world is something that I don't think they're really inclined to do, but there's a chance it could happen. And the reason I'm saying this is because seeing the success with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can see that the kind of open world concept could work for Pokemon the same way it worked for The Legend of Zelda. Of course, some people didn't like that game, but the majority of people loved it. It was the game of the year, and in general, people just seem to want to see a Pokemon game in an open world setting, and I guess in general, Game Freak should take a note as from the development of the Breath of the Wild and see that it could benefit them if they went with such a concept, and also it would give them more freedom to work with different ways of how they would implement Pokemon, how to catch them, how battles would work, and all that stuff. It could really be interesting to see how they would work that stuff around. But then again, Pokemon is such a franchise that's always kind of been streamlined in a sense, and it's always been in a specific way, and it's never really changed, so I'm really unsure of how they would implement such a thing as an open world. It could work. I believe there is a possibility for that, and it really would be nice to see, but we'll have to wait and see for what they do. I do though hope that open world is something we'll be getting in this game, as it would be fantastic. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think open world is something that would fit into Pokemon, especially for the Switch, considering the Switch has higher capabilities than the 3DS? So basically, I do think this could be a possible thing to happen, especially with the success of Breath of the Wild and how they implemented there. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what do you think? And let's go to the next one. Now, coming up next is going to be following Pokemon as a feature. This is something that we had back in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and I think there was one more game that had it. I can't remember though. But either way, my point is, following Pokemon is something we all love, okay? We wanted it in Ultra Sun and Moon. We didn't get it. There were a few things kind of sort of hinting towards it, but it wasn't really confirmed, and we all thought we were going to be getting it, but we didn't get it. But I've got to say, following Pokemon is something that I'm pretty sure they will implement, and the reason for that is because I feel like when they make the next game, they're going to utilize all the opportunities they get out of the Switch console. They have to do that. I mean, come on, you're working with a console now that is way better, okay, way better than the 3DS in terms of hardware. I mean, the Nintendo Switch isn't really something revolutionary. It is still, you know, a handheld sort of, but it is also a home console, but it isn't as strong as something like a Xbox or a PS4, so it may still struggle if you know, cram too much stuff in there. But if they can achieve something like, you know, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and stuff like that, and stuff like, you know, Breath of the Wild on that device, then I'm pretty sure, okay, they should be able to do something like following Pokemon, especially if they just utilize their, like, the opportunity as well as possible, and don't, you know, just don't like ram all the stuff in there and just cram it in, but like do it in a nice way, because they can code it in and do all that stuff perfectly, so the files aren't too large. But I want to point out here that following Pokemon is a feature that a lot of people have wanted for a long time, and it would be awesome to see it back again. It is one of the most awesome things when you can just go around and behind you have a Pokemon, whether it be a giant Groudon or a freaking, you know, or just a tiny little Torchic, doesn't really matter, but like it's really awesome when you have your own Pokemon right behind you, the first Pokemon in your party. It's fantastic. I love it, and I really want to see it again, and it would be just really awesome to see it again, especially with a feature like where you can basically turn around and talk to your Pokemon. They can give you an item, can tell its mood and all that stuff. I love that, and I think it would be a possibility for the Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. So let me know, guys, do you want to see the Pokemon following feature back in Pokemon in the next Pokemon Switch version that we're getting, either in 2018 or 2019? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's go to the next one on the list. Now, the next one on the list, guys, is going to be improved graphics. So, basically, right here, I have to point out that the Ultra Sun and Moon games and the Sun and Moon games had really poor-looking graphics, and that was because of mainly the lines in the game that they use. It makes the game look very choppy, in a very bad way. Like, it does not make the game look really any sort of good, so to say. So that is majorly a complaint of mine, because it makes the game look so weird. So I would say improved graphics would be really nice. Drop the whole lines thing, or the, you know, just the lines they use, especially for Ultra Sun and Moon, because that stuff made the game look very awful, in my opinion. It's not like you know, it made the game look totally unplayable or whatever, but like when you remove the lines, you could easily see that, like, oh, I prefer playing this without the lines. Of course, there are a few issues here, because on some Pokemon it looks really weird when it has no lines. So I think they should be especially putting a lot of time into improved graphics, and especially making new models for all their Pokemon, because I feel like lately they've been reusing the same models from like previous generation. Like, essentially, if you look at the 3D models, they haven't really changed much over the course of, like, you know, X and Y, Sun and Moon, and, you know, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. There's a few reuses, okay, like a few places where they've reused models several times, but most of the time they do kind of remake them. So here I feel like they should remake them as good as possible and make them in HD, so they can be like just, you know, top-notch quality. So that's what I'm hoping for, and I hope they do something like that, as it would be very appreciated, as honestly we have been kind of dealing with these kind of choppy looking gameplays when doing Ultra Sun and Moon content, especially me, because I use a really poor capture card. So I have to kind of just, you know, point that out. But either way, let me know what you guys think about this one. Improved graphics is something I want to see. I could be a bit, you know, skeptical on this one. There are ways around it, so I'm not really sure, but I think improved graphics is something I do want to see. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what do you think about that one, and if you do agree with it. Let's go to the next one on the list. Now, the next one is going to be an overhaul to the battle system. Now, this is something that I feel like we definitely need to see happen. We've had the same Pokemon battling system for the last, I don't even know how many, like, years. We've had it since Red and Blue, honestly, if you think about it. All the main series games have had the exact same battling. Like, exact same battling. The only changes are the fact that we have, you know, more items over time, and we have had stuff like Mega Evolutions and Z moves added, which are, honestly, if you kind of think about it, it's kind of gimmicky thing you add in there that doesn't really do much to improve the gameplay. If anything, it slows down the gameplay even more, which is something that I have a huge complaint about, and a lot of people also complain about, is that the gameplay, especially in something like Ultra Sun and Moon, was really slow. It was very slow paced, and it's kind of been like that ever since we went over to the 3DS like era, because the animations became larger and bigger and all that stuff, and because of that, it kind of slowed down the actual gameplay. So I want to see if they could do something with the battle system, specifically in this next game, that kind of changes it around and maybe even speeds it up, or it doesn't even need to speed up, keep it on the same speed or the same pace, but kind of do something that's more intuitive than just adding in stuff like Mega Evolutions or Z moves. Not that I'm complaining about Z moves or Mega Evolutions, you know, vice versa. I'm not complaining about them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're, you know, they're their own thing. But I feel like for the next generation of games, we need to see something that isn't just, you know, this little tacked on extra ability or move or change to your Pokemon. I want to see something that genuinely changes the way you battle in your game and how the battling actually works. I want to see something like that, but then again, the likeliness for that is very low, so we'll just have to wait and see. If they could do a battle system that kind of mimics Pokken, but like not really like Pokken, because Pokken's a bit it's a bit hardcore, but something like, you know, just a kind of a a battle system where you can kind of control your Pokemon would be really cool. I would love that. I don't know. If they could do something like that, I mean, I'd be just like, top notch, well done, my boys over at Game Freak. But then again, I would want to see a battle system rework, and let me know what you guys think about that. Would you want to see that? Let me know. I want to see what you guys think. So let's go to the next one, lads. And finally, on our list, we have ourselves the #1 spot, which is going to be custom characters and trainer editing. So what this is basically, I want to see something like Xenoverse editing, or even more extended editing for your characters or customization. Now, we already do have customization in, you know, X and Y, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon. We've already had customization. It's nothing like that would be new, essentially. But when I say custom characters, I want to be able... I mean, if you're already going to be dropping the whole, like, faceless hero concept, which is what Pokemon and Zelda and, you know, all these games have had for a long time, if you think about it, okay, just logically think about it, all these old Nintendo games had the faceless hero concept to them, where basically you are a hero, but you're always a defined character. But when you go to stuff like Legend of Zelda lately, you know, you can see that Link has turned into a different sort of Link that you can edit and customize and do whatever you want to. But back in the day, if you were playing a game like the Breath of the Wild, like back in, you know, the good old days, back in, you know, the 90s and stuff like that, or 80s, whatever, if you're playing in those days, you would be a defined character with a specific, like, outfit, and you would never change that outfit. And that's kind of what Pokemon's been for the longest time. And even now, even with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, they kind of force you to have this base character, okay, like just this one base character, and then you can kind of edit some of the clothing on that character, and you know, eyelids and whatever, how you want the eyes to look, all that stuff. But I want to be able to see a customization where basically from the start, I get to choose my character's face, my character's, like, everything, even the initial outfit and the body color and everything about the character. I want to be able to choose every aspect there, same way I can choose in most other games where it's common. I feel like, especially when they're going to the Switch, they have the capabilities to add something like this in. It should not be that hard for them, I'm pretty sure. It should not be the hardest thing in the world to do. So I do hope they do that. If they do it, it'll be fantastic, and I would love it. So I want to see if they can add in custom character, like custom characters and customization where it actually works properly. Now, I want to just give a huge just honorable mentions here at the end, and that is also to stuff like improved voice acting, or rather added voice acting, not improved, added voice acting, and then improved cutscenes is what I was gonna say. If they're gonna be doing cutscenes, it would be nice if they could improve them so they aren't just like, I don't know, just kind of improve them so they are in higher, first of all, higher frame rates, and also so they just, I don't know, look better, and also so that just better cutscenes, because we had a lot of cutscenes in Ultra Sun and Moon that were just the most pointless cutscenes that were unnecessary as all hell, dude. So I want to see more improved and better timed cutscenes, because they have some issues with that stuff, and also improved storylines or improved storytelling or whatever you want to call it, or just cutting a lot of the text away from the game and more, you know, rather working on the gameplay and the story in different manners, because currently I feel like they're kind of in a spot where the games tend to be a bit too much on the reading side, where half the time you're reading rather than actually doing shit, which is what I didn't really enjoy Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, and like vice versa. I mean, I just didn't enjoy those games as much as I enjoyed something like, you know, the old games like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire and stuff like that, because you talk way more than you actually play in Ultra Sun and Moon, I've noticed, and in Sun and Moon as well. So either way, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there are any features that you want to see, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see what you guys come up with and some things you want to see yourself. And thank you so much for watching, though. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and, of course, subscribe for future videos. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.